Now also happening today, as you heard, the murder trial of former Orlando Pirates and Bafana keeper Senzo Meyiwa will resume in the High Court in Pretoria this morning. Meyiwa was gunned down at the home of his girlfriend's mother, Khumalo, in Vosloorus, east of Johannesburg in 2014. State witness Sergeant Thabo Mosia is expected to continue to give evidence. Let's now cross live to SABC News reporter Hasina Gori, who is covering this for us today to get more from the court. Good morning to you, Hasina. Talk to us about what's happening there.
Good morning, Leanne. As you mentioned yesterday, the long-awaited trial finally began with the first state witness being called. And it's quite an interesting and an important witness that was called because Sergeant Mosia is a forensic officer, one of the first that arrived at the scene. As he mentioned, he arrived on the 27th of October 2014, just after midnight, to the scene of Khumalo's mother's home in Vosloorus there, where he was instructed to collect evidence, or that was his job. And what he detailed is quite meticulously how he went through and what he saw when he arrived there, saying that the first thing that really struck him or he saw was that bullet hole through the kitchen door. This is what they've discerned the entry point where the intruders entered the home. The state version of events in their case says that two intruders entered the home on that evening, one armed with a gun and another with a knife, and they had tried to rob those at the home of their valuables and possessions. We know a cell phone was also taken. According to the state, 3 bullet shots were fired that evening. One, that fatal shot that killed Senzo Meyiwa, another that hit the kitchen door, as well as one that grazed the ankle of Khumalo. Then he also described how he followed the direction of that bullet hole, finding that bullet projectile which was found on a kitchen counter behind some jars. He also described what seemed like bloodstains on the kitchen or in front of the TV stand. And he also took the court through certain of the swabs that were done and were sent for forensic testing, saying that he had swabbed the door handles of the kitchen doors, the bedroom doors, as well as the bathroom doors. The kitchen towels were also swabbed, as well as the area around the TV stand where that blood stain was found. He also told the court that he saw a checkered hat. It was brown, grey and white, which was also sent for evidence. There was a walking stick that was found at the scene, as well as alcohol cans, which were swabbed also for forensic. This is really the states opening their case, putting that digital, catalogue through of the evidence that they've collected, quite a heavy physical body of evidence that they will rely on to prove their case and to link the 5 accused to the scene. The bullet fragment is also quite important because it is what the state will rely on later on to link accused number 3, specifically Prince Ngube, and the gun that was retrieved at his home to the bullet projectile that was found. They will also rely on ballistic experts, forensic experts later on, which will all collate and collaborate this evidence that the state had found from the actual crime scene. So really a very important and crucial testimony coming through. We're expecting him to return to the stand this morning, where he will also answer the question of whether or not the crime scene was tampered, whether there was any tampering of evidence, whether it was cleaned out, answering those specific questions, as well as ensuring that that the purity of the scene was and the integrity of the scene was kept. He will then also be cross-examined by both the defense lawyers before he will be re-examined. So that's what we can expect to take place at the courts this morning, Leanne.
All right, Hasina Gori, very interesting. Today certainly is going to be quite an interesting one, hearing the cross-examination taking place. But we'll leave it there. Hasina Gori for SABC News. Great to get an update from you on this trial. And remember, SABC News does take this whole trial live. All right.